When we think about survival in the animal kingdom, our minds usually jump to the big guys, right? The predators, the strong, the fast. But what if I told you the toughest creature we know of is so tiny, you've probably never even seen it?
Seriously, take a second. What animal pops into your head? A lion? Maybe a great white shark? A crocodile? And yeah, those are all seriously tough customers, no doubt. But the true champion of survival? It isn't big, it isn't scary, and it's definitely not at the top of the food chain.
That's right. The most indestructible life form we've ever found is a microscopic animal. It's so unbelievably small that one could be sitting on your fingertip right now and you would have absolutely no idea. So let's dive into the amazing story of this tiny hero, a creature that completely redefines what it means to be tough. All right, so it's time to formally meet our microscopic champion. It actually goes by a few names, and honestly, they're all surprisingly cute for such a hardcore little creature.
Say hello to the tardigrade. It's also known as a water bear because of its kind of slow, lumbering walk. And my personal favorite, moss piglet, because, well, it looks like a tiny little piglet that hangs out in moss. But seriously, don't let those cute names fool you.
We're talking incredibly small here, less than half a millimeter long, with 8 little legs that have their own claws. And you can find them just about everywhere, from the bottom of the deepest oceans to the tops of the highest mountains. If you find even a tiny bit of water, chances are there's a tardigrade there. Okay, so this is where the story goes from, oh, that's interesting, to, wait, that's impossible. The tardigrade isn't just found everywhere. It's a master of survival. It can withstand things that would literally obliterate almost any other living thing on this planet. Let's just start with heat. They can survive being boiled at 150 degrees Celsius. That's 50 degrees hotter than boiling water. Most living cells would just fall apart in seconds, but the tardigrade just handles it. And what about the other end of the scale? How about being frozen to negative 272 degrees Celsius? That's just 1 degree away from absolute zero, the coldest possible temperature in the universe, where atoms themselves practically stop moving. And yeah, they can come back from that too. Then you've got radiation. Tardigrades can handle doses hundreds of times higher than what would be lethal for us. They can basically shrug off radiation levels that would shred our DNA to bits. And if you think that's impressive, hold on. They can also survive crushing pressures 6 times greater than what you'd find in the deepest part of the ocean. They can survive being almost completely dried out, losing nearly all the water in their bodies. And, get this, they can survive the vacuum of outer space.
And look, this isn't some comic book thing. It's real. In actual experiments, scientists have taken tardigrades into orbit, exposed them to the pure vacuum and harsh radiation of space, and then brought them back. Many of them not only survived, but some just went on to reproduce like nothing ever happened. So the big question is, how? How is any of that even possible? Well, the answer lies in a remarkable biological superpower.
It's a state called cryptobiosis. The best way to think about it is like hitting the pause button on life itself. It's not sleeping, it's not hibernating, it's a near total shutdown of everything, which lets the tardigrade just wait out pretty much any deadly situation. So how does this whole transformation work? Well, when a tardigrade senses things are getting bad, like say its patch of moss is drying up, it starts pushing almost all the water out of its body. It curls up into this tiny dried out ball called a ton. Inside that ton, its metabolism slows down to less than 0.01% of normal. Life is basically on hold. It can stay like that for years, maybe even decades. And then, the moment water comes back, it rehydrates, unfolds, and just walks away. It's unbelievable. So this incredible ability is way more than just a cool biological party trick. The tardigrade's resilience is teaching us some powerful lessons, and it holds huge potential for science and medicine. It's showing us how life can push the absolute extremes. One of the biggest discoveries is this amazing protein they have, nicknamed D-soup. It stands for damage suppressor. And what scientists found is that this protein literally forms a physical shield around the tardigrade's DNA, protecting it from getting blasted apart by radiation. And this is where it gets really exciting. I mean, imagine using that protein to protect the healthy cells of cancer patients while they get radiation therapy, or using its secrets to preserve organs for transplants for way longer. It could even be the key to protecting astronauts from cosmic rays on those long trips to Mars. But, okay, before we start calling the tardigrade invincible, we need to set the record straight. As tough as these little guys are, they do have their limits.
They are absolutely one of the most resilient creatures we've ever found, but they are not immortal. They can be killed. That ton state is a defense mechanism, not a guarantee of forever.
For example, they can handle a quick blast of crazy heat that if you expose them to it for too long, they'll die. And just like any other animal, they're vulnerable to certain toxins. They have pushed the known boundaries of life, for sure. But those boundaries are still there. And really, that just leads us to one final, pretty profound thought. The tardigrade proves that the most incredible strength can come in the absolute smallest packages. It really makes you wonder, if a microscopic animal holds the secret to surviving the vacuum of space, what other wonders are out there, right under our noses, just waiting to be discovered?